Now, Britain's hopes of a new motorsport world champion has to wait after Oliver Rowland had to retire in the first of a weekend double-header of the Formula E series in Berlin. That was yesterday. An incident with 6 laps to go meant the British driver was forced to abandon the race for his first retirement of this season. And with just a few races to go in the calendar, what does he need to do today in Germany if he can seal the title? Joining us now is Formula E pit lane reporter Saunders Carmichel-Brown. How are you, Saunders?
Morning, guys. Yeah, very good, thank you. Thanks, pleasure to be on. You both well?
Yeah, what a fabulous name, Saunders. I've got to be honest.
Oh, I can't take any credit for that. You got to talk to my parents.
Well, yeah. Well, we've had you on before, Saunders, so we're not surprised at all by it. But anyway, let's get straight to the story of Oliver Rowland, because we had John Jackson on yesterday, who you know very well, talking all about what's going to happen and how we're hopeful that this weekend we'll see a British motorsport champion. Didn't quite go to plan yesterday. So what needs to happen today?
Well, I'll try and keep it simple. Essentially, Oliver Rowland needs to score 8 more points than Pascal Wehrlein, the Porsche driver, today to win the championship. So effectively, that means finishing somewhere around 5th or 6th, with Pascal obviously not doing that well at the same time. So it's not completely in his hands, but based on the performance that we've seen from him this season, now this guy's got 7 podiums, 4 of them being race wins, all the others being second places. So he's just been on a performance level that we haven't really seen in Formula E before. So yesterday was an absolutely huge shock that none of us were expecting. He hasn't had a DNF, his first one all season. So, yeah, caught us all by surprise, and he's left himself a little bit more of a job to do today. But I'd say it is still majority in his hands.
So, Saunders, most of the time we look at motor racing, always conditions play a part. Is that going to be the case today?
Well, I don't know how to explain it. We went 5 years, 5 seasons with no wet races in Formula E. The first 5 seasons, there wasn't a single wet race. We've had 5 this season. And yesterday was one of them. You know, we always obviously looking at the weather radar and trying to track what's going on, but it is a very difficult championship to drive in. Yeah, every driver on the grid talks about it being the hardest form of motorsport that they've ever driven in, just because of all the technical side of it. It's a real mental game as well. There's lots you're having to do behind the wheel at the same time. It has to unlock different characteristics of driver that you don't really have to unlock in other championships. So then you add rain to the mix, and it makes it even harder with the grip on these street circuits. It's not traditional tarmac like you get at a permanent race circuit. Everything's a little bit more harder, and we had that yesterday. With another wet race. Although it wasn't downpour during the race, pretty much up to the race, the conditions were very wet.
So is that what happened with Oliver Rowland and that incident?
I wouldn't want to say that was because of the race. I would say the conditions were tricky, and then he got himself into a position where he used this bit of strategy that we call attack mode. It's essentially unlocking an additional bit of power for a set limit of time. What you have to do to activate it, though, is drive off the racing line. So if you're in a tight pack, it's really easy to lose positions. So he did that towards the end of the race, then thinking, well, I've got the extra power now, so I'm going to use that to make those positions back and climb up the order. And I think he'll hold his hands up and say the same thing here. He just pushed a little bit too hard. And he had a bit of a spin trying to make a move on the inside into one of the hairpins. And yeah, it was one of those things where he was a sitting duck facing the wrong way in the track, and he has to allow for all the people to come past him before he can turn around. And in Formula E, there is very, very seldomly more than half a second between cars. So in a chain of 22 cars, so you have to wait a while.
Wow.
So, Saunders, tell us about, because after Berlin, we got the final 2 rounds in London. So is that a unique event?
It is. You know, honestly, there's nothing else in motorsport like it. It was the first ever single-seater motorsport to have both indoor and outdoor within one circuit.
Oh,
It's a phenomenally organised event at the XL Centre in London. And basically the start-finish straight, the pit lane and a couple of corners are inside one whole half of the convention centre. And then you come out down the ramp and you use all the roads around the outside of the XL and then back in on the other side. And then so you're on one side inside the XL, it's like music blaring, you get music artists playing at the starting grid, lights and everything, and then you go outside and it's like, you know, fast, frenetic, close racing like you see in Formula E, and they come back in for the fans waiting in the grandstand again. What's been really interesting in the past few years is it's, even though it's been in July, it's been raining, so they've had half a wet circuit, half a dry circuit.
Right.
Oh, it's bizarre.
Sounds bonkers.
It does sound, but it sounds great at the same time, I have to say.
No, it's a spectacle. It's great fun. It's great fun.
So for those that might not have been keeping right across everything in Formula E, we've mentioned Oliver Rowland and how we're hopeful that he'll come away with the championship. But who else has sort of stood out, or maybe who's disappointed?
Well, the championship side of things, it's pretty much a 3/4 horse race, although, not to get too deep, but mathematically there's still quite a few people that could technically go and do it if all went wrong for everyone else ahead of them. But you've got Oliver Rowland, championship leader, then you've got the two Porsche drivers and another young McLaren driver, British driver called Taylor Barnard, who actually just moved one ahead yesterday to be into the top 3. So it's pretty tight-ish between second, third and fourth. So they're probably the main protagonists that put the challenge on Rowland. But then that's in the Drivers' Championship. You look in the Teams' Championship, and it's much closer. And then the Manufacturers' Trophy, and that being the likes of Nissan, Jaguar, Stellantis, all these kind of big names in the automotive world, it's even tighter. So even if Oliver does wrap it up today in the Drivers' Championship, it's definitely going to be going to the wire in London and the other two.
We saved the best till last because we've heard that yesterday you got a pie in your face on a TV broadcast. What was that one about?
Come on, Saunders, you can't get away with not talking about it.
No, it's all good. I'll take it like a sport. So we do a thing at the start of the grid procedure on the ITV show and ITV4 show, which is our predictions. And you all have a go at who you think's going to do well in the race, and the driver that effectively does worse in the race has a punishment.
Oh.
Now, you ask me, Oliver Rowland's a pretty safe bet. He's done pretty well this season. He's not had any DNFs. He's starting third on the grid. I'm going to go with Oliver Rowland. He unfortunately does have his first DNF of the season, and it was in combination with any NFL fans listening. The Indianapolis Colts famous mascot, Blue, is a big giant horse, acts all crazy. He's been with us today to kind of collaborate with one of the Andretti teams who are from Indianapolis while the NFL is in Berlin. And one of the things he does is he pies people, and I was unfortunately the recipient of that. But you know what, guys? It gets one bit worse because they didn't tell me it wasn't pie; it was shaving cream, and I ate it.
Oh no! Oh no! That's not great. And it wasn't raining either, was it, at the time? Because then it's like really horrible down your face. Oh no!
Yeah, it was exactly.
Lovely.
Yeah, it took probably the best part of an hour to sort myself out after that.
You ate it as well. Oh, Saunders, I'm sorry. Hopefully, could you be pied again today? Is that a possibility?
I'm hoping that if they do the prediction game today, I'll have a better go, or it'll be a different forfeit.
Oh my goodness! Well, we wish you the best of luck for the predictions at least. So, Saunders, thank you for being with us today.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Cheers, guys.
We're going to bring you updates from that second race of the weekend in Berlin from 3:00 this afternoon. That during our Scottish Golf Open coverage, and you can also watch the race live on ITVX.